I don't know where the music's coming from. Hold on, guys. Oh, there we go. I think we skipped a couple of songs, but that's okay. Welcome to the Build Show. I'm your host, Ben Estrino, over here at the Empower Gaming Studio. Hopefully the audio is good. Yesterday we had a power outage, and anytime the stream PC gets rebooted, we always have audio issues. Nothing is ever the same as it should be. Hey, what's up, guys? Ant-Man first in the chat. John, hey, what's up? Welcome to the Build Show. Welcome to the Build Show, Ant-Man and John. Grand, welcome back to the Build Show. Let's see here. Chat nerds, welcome back to the Build Show. Looks like John's PC did arrive a day early. So, thank you, UPS, for delivering early. Mike, welcome back to the Build Show. Ben, how can I configure my monitors to be a video wall on my PC? You talking like a dynamic wallpaper? I think there's an app you can download from Steam for a dynamic wallpaper. I don't remember the name of it. It's got a funny name to it, or a ironic name that sounds right. Something wallpaper. Can't remember the full name. But go check that out. That'll probably be the answer to your question. Just keep in mind, when you do run dynamic wallpapers, it uses up a little bit of resources. So if you're streaming, for example, shut it off. Save some of your resources. Wallpaper engine, thank you. It was wallpaper something. No, like actual video wall, but in monitors. Video wall, but monitors. I don't think I'm following you. You'll have to elaborate on that. In streaming or gaming. New camera angle. Who's this? Oh no, this is just camera angle number 1. I actually had these set up. I just never use them. This would be the normal camera angle, but I thought, you know, if we're sitting here chatting, we could sit here and chat. Steve Anderson, I bought an RTX 5060 today, retail $299. Pretty good price for the 5060, in my opinion. I think it should be a little bit lower, but you know, today is where we're at, so is what it is. I am liking, though, the availability of the 5060 and the 9060 XT right now. For example, this would have been a option almost for this build. This card was, I think, $220 is what we got this card for. So this is the RX 7600, but a 9060 would have been an option for this build. I bought nothing today. You and me both, Mike. You and me both. It's a wall of videos people use to make them with TVs, but it's more complex that way. Okay. I'm sure there's software out there. I'm just not familiar with it. Is it display settings? Yeah, it's probably a way of setting up the screens and then managing it so that you can span it across all the screens. I don't know the software behind it. If you could do it in Windows, maybe. I don't know. 7000 series was great series, though. Yeah, I agree. But soon, my friends, soon! Mike is getting excited. I think we all are. For Mike. Alright, it sounds like John received his PC today, so really looking forward to seeing him set up. And he'll have to drop a link to his stream when he gets all set up. so we can follow his stream. Follow the story. 300 seems to be entry level now. Yeah, 300 is about the entry level price. It's not terrible, but you know, where we come from, $300 was like a mid-range card. Or at least where I came from, $300 originally was a higher end card, and then later a mid-range card. You have no idea. Aim for the win, yes. All right, so let's go ahead and go through the build, and we'll get started on it. Alex, I did notify him and let him know that we were going to start around 8 p.m. We are an hour and a half later than normal. I was working on a bunch of stuff today, so hour and a half later than I wanted to start, so I apologize. But we are here, and we're still doing the build. So this build is for Alexander. It's number 60. Build number 60. So to start off, we have a AMD Ryzen 7 5700X3D, which has 8 cores, 16 threads, and a maximum boost of 4.1 gigahertz. So it is the X3D chip on AM4, which is still a badass CPU that you can run pretty much anything you want on it, graphics card wise. Next up is the Thermalbright Peerless Assassin that we're going to be running on this. It's the 120 SE ARGB, so it's got the two 120 millimeter fans, as well as a 6 heat pipes on the cooler. And then we have a B550 Pro VDH Wi-Fi motherboard. Yes, I opened it first. As well as 16 gigabytes DDR4 3200 CL16, 2 8 gig sticks, which is Team Group T-Force Delta series. So this is ARGB. Anytime I'm building with these, along with the Peerless Assassin, though, you do have some clearance issues, so we'll see about the clearance issues. It also likes to cover up the RGB on the RAM. I know some of you have mentioned I can put the front fan on the cooler and put it on the back, but I still prefer the cooler or the fan on the front. It's just a preference when I'm building. AM4 is a great cheap build right now. Oh yeah, I think we are at total for the build is around $1,000 for this build, so it's a pretty good outcome for $1,000 in my opinion. I think the only thing we could have done differently is maybe got 32 gigs of Pinnacle RAM instead of the RGB RAM, but that's it. So this is also a Frostfire selection on the website, so if you're familiar with any of the builds on the website, the Frostfire is the Aqua 3 build, so it's limited to a micro ATX motherboard and limited to specific components that can fit in that case as well. I did have 32 gigs of Team Group T-Force Vulcan as an option, but he did select the RGB RAM, so I think his plan is to start with this and then upgrade the RAM later, which would be very easy to do in the system. Next up is a 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSD, which is an MP44. It's a great, super fast SSD to start out with. This board does have an additional M.2 slot, so he can always add an additional SSD when he needs more storage. And there's also SATA options as well. So great board to start out with, and a great SSD to start out with. It'll get you a few games that you'll be able to install a few games and enjoy it. Next up is the Aqua 3, or the AMD Radeon RX 7600, I'm sorry, which is the Fighter by PowerColor. It's an 8 gigabyte graphics card, it's 128 bits, PCIe 4.0, and I don't know if this one actually has a backplate or not. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've touched this exact card. But the case that we're going to be building in is the Okanus Aqua 3, Okanus Aqua 3, and that is a micro ATX tower. It is black, right? I have white or black. I can't see if he actually selected black or not. Yes, it's black. So it is in black, and then he selected 2 bottom fans in addition to that, so these are those 15 millimeter fans, and these are by Thermalright, but they're 120 15 millimeter. 120 by 15 millimeter, and that's the thickness, so they're really thin fans that go at the bottom of the case, and you want those in this particular case so that you have access to your PCIe slots if you want to use those, as well as the graphics card on them. Next is the Segitep 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply that we will be installing and powering the system with. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Sadie, sometimes welcome to the build show. You have the 5800X3D, my personal rig, love it. Yeah, it's one of the greatest for the AIM-4 socket. Hey Rodney, what's up over there on the Twitch side? Roy as well, welcome back to the build show. Steve Anderson, by the way, welcome back to the build show. Lethal Wick, welcome to the build show. Welcome back. Hey, how's it going, Ben? You're building my setup, my stepson's PC tonight. Gonna be the third PC of yours in our house. Holy smokes. I didn't realize this was your stepson's PC. So that's good to know, Rodney. Hopefully he's in the chat and watching. Is he watching right now? Up early. I'm out for tonight, guys. Good luck on the build. Thank you, Gran. Have a good night, sir. Let's go. Haha, yes. He's been wanting it one bad. Nice. Well, this'll do him good. So it's a great system to start out with. Ant-Man says, can he be your stepson? Ant-Man over on YouTube chat. I don't know, Ant-Man, you'll have to go over to Twitch and ask him yourself. He's on the Twitch chat right now. Let's go ahead and get started with the build. I'm going to move some of this out of the way, and we'll get started. Oh, good night. Going to bed? Okay, we're back. Let's get zoomed in here and we'll start throwing things on the board. Center this up a little bit. There we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our AMD Ryzen 7 5700X3D. Get started by opening that up and putting it into the socket. More likes on the stream, everyone. Thanks, chat. Chat Nerds is demanding more likes. Some giant idiot. Thank you for dropping the Twitch channel. We stream everywhere. So here's our 5700X3D going into the socket. The AIM-4 B550 socket. Next up is our 16 gigs of DDR4 3200 RAM. This is by Team Group. This is T-Force Delta RGB. And it is a CL16 2 8 gig stick kit. So a total of 16 gigabytes. And next is our 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSD by Team Group. This is the MP44. The super fast Gen 4 SSD. I think it has up read writes up to 7200 or 77,000, I think, around that ballpark. What's Max doing? Max is I don't know. He's not here. He's hanging out with mom somewhere. Ben, what is the new site reveal? When is the new site reveal? Well, we had some back and forth today. Couple of calls regarding the website. We went back and forth, and there was a few things that we have to resolve before we go live. But it is happening sometime this week. And this week could also mean this weekend. But I'm trying to get everything done. There's a lot that's going to change on the website, and there's going to be a lot that's missing from the website as we transition, because there's just way too much. There's a lot to it. So everything that we build on the website, on the current website, takes a lot for us to transition to the new one. But the short version of the story is that we are going from WordPress to Shopify. Just so much cheaper. They don't have to buy a bazillion plugins to make the website work. Shopify has a bunch of features that pretty much does what half of my plugins that I pay for do, so it'll save us some cost. And also, the website will rank better on Google on a Shopify platform, because the current WordPress platform is just too slow. So that's the main reason why we're doing it, is the performance of the website. Okay, so we've got our SSD installed, we've got our CPU installed, and we've got our RAM installed. So next is our Peerless Assassin, our massive cooler. He originally selected a Assassin X120 for this build, and I looked at it and looked through it, and I was like, yeah, we should probably upgrade that. So I upgraded him to the Peerless Assassin instead. That was a Ben call, and I didn't charge him extra for it or anything like that. I just went ahead and got him the right cooler. Not that the other cooler wouldn't have worked. It would have worked. It's just this one will work a lot better. So, and that's what we're here for. All right, so let's go ahead and get our hardware set up, installed on the board. And then we'll mount the cooler. Of course, indeed. The GOAT. Hey, what's some giant idiot? PA120, Peerless Assassin. Yes, this cooler is one of the best, in my opinion, as well. I agree with that. Oops. Got my hat back on, now I'm bumping the mic a million times. Okay, so we're going to first start by removing the stock brackets. Then we add the red pegs. And the brackets. There we go. Those are all installed, ready to go. So what we got to do is put the cooler on there. I'll paste it up and then put the cooler on. Thermalright imprinted on the top of it. Pretty snazzy cooler. Large fins. We like it. The X application, and then we will match up the words on the cooler with the lettering on the RAM so that they're all facing the right direction. Get our extra long screwdriver so we can get down there without cutting up our knuckles. It's two 140 fans and not 120 though. What do you mean? Don't jinx him. You guys noticed when Ben didn't wear his hat and he got bad luck on PC parts? The hat has nothing to do with it. The hat has nothing to do with it. I wish it were that easy, because then I'd just wear my hat all the time. It's 70 heat pipes and was keeping a 1400K under 72 full load. I was actually running, here I'll show you guys. I don't know if you guys saw the photos in the chat, this Discord channel, but we had this guy, which you're all familiar with. This guy was running on a 1400K S, and that CPU just couldn't stay cool. So we ended up pulling this and putting an Arctic Liquid Freezer 3 on it. I think it's mostly because of the airflow in the case. Even with the fans at like max speed, there just wasn't enough airflow because of the case size. Need to put some Noctua industrial fans in there or something. Alright, so let's go ahead and clean up these cables a little bit. Put it in more zip ties. Running out of them. All right. Now we are ready to drop this into a case. Let's go ahead and get that case out. Shall we? Yeah, like $100. Oh yeah, for that cooler? I know. Thermalright is coming out with ones like it? Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, or actually, no, I saw that actually on Gamers Nexus. Actually. 7800 X3D, I'm thinking. I just go with the AIO. Unless you want to specifically do air. The Okidus Aqua 3. Hey, Kevotech. Welcome to the Build Show. I'm located in Lake Orion, Michigan. Indeed, Ben. Indeed. Just go with the AIO. It's not that expensive. Thermalright AIOs. Man, I'm a big fan of the Black Towers. I feel like we've done a couple. Oops. Not mean to smash it on the key. Oh, there's two of them. We've got to add studs, move a stud. Studs, yo. Don't forget the back plate. And then we have 8 screws. One of which is going to be very difficult to get to. If I had any other screwdriver, I don't think I would have been able to do that. Trick is getting this. At Empower, do I sell parts? Do I sell parts? Not really. Not specifically, unless somebody brings the system in and wants to do like upgrades or repairs or something like that, then obviously I'd sell parts, but I don't sell parts like Micro Center, Best Buy, Newegg, etc. Not a parts dealer. But if somebody's looking for something specific and needs help with it in the community, I'm more than happy to help track it down and get it. Like, come on. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing this again, but I am. Could have fed these while I was putting the board in. I'm trying to fight it between the RAM. There we go. Nicely done. Got our cables in there. Fed. Anyway. Aha! 165 hertz feels so much better than 60 hertz. Like, holy. John, yep. LOL for sure, John. I don't know why it was that much of a difference. Oh yeah, it just feels smoother like butter. I'm gonna have to clean the glass. When I was putting it back, I got my fingerprints all of it. Yeah, a little bit of Windex and paper towel, that's all you need to clean the glass. And if you have a fiber, microfiber cloth, that's also easier because it doesn't leave any white powdery streaks on the glass. I got parts all over the house now and in storage. Yes, you and I both, chat. I think I got, because we lived at the in-laws house for a little while, so I think I still have parts there in the garage and in the basement. I have parts in my parents' basement, I think, still, or did up until the fire. So they're probably most definitely lost. I never actually checked. Then I have parts obviously in my garage, my attic, and everywhere in this room. So I even got parts in my trunk of every car. I have parts, PC parts laying around in my camper. Just random stuff. Just everywhere. Nerds, you probably got parts to build 6 PCs. It's not like that. It's like random stuff. Not something that would complete a build. Effective face. What's up, man? Thank you for advice on the RAM. I found out how to use VRAM now. My computer is usable. Awesome. You're welcome. Sam Ford and Sons. Still need to edit the video I made. Nice. Along with 1,000 pounds of cardboard, Ben. Yes. But it's actually not in weight. It's just in use. Very light cardboard. I'm almost packed up. I'm moving out for 3 weeks while they renovate my apartment. Nice. Where do you have, where are they putting you up? Hopefully they're paying for that. You're not. Okay. So now that we got this installed, the only thing I didn't really think of is fan clearance to trim these screws. Find Mr. Stubby. I always lose him. He's floats around here. All right. Yeah, barely. But let's get our front panel connectors plugged in, and then we'll move on to greater, bigger, more fun things. PC's on the floor temporarily, that's fine. Just you keep it on the floor. You have carpet. This is just a note for anybody that puts PC on the floor. If you have carpet, make sure you put it on a piece of wood or something, because the power supply draws air from the bottom, and I think on your particular build, John, that is a bottom intake fan as well, and you will suffocate that those bottom fans if it's on a carpet. So just something to note. Not something you have to worry about immediately, but don't leave it there for a long period of time if it's on a carpet. Then we have system fans here. ARGB there. Sanford and Sons was a famous sitcom and had a junkyard run for their living room. Oh, nice. I don't think we're quite that bad. I just have parts everywhere. I don't recall that sitcom. Might have been before my time. Mike. Oh, man. I have a semi-sturdy table I think I'm going to use. There you go. I always forget the front panel connectors are over here. All right, so those are all in. We can go ahead and put our bottom fans in, which are two 120 millimeter fans that are PWM addressable RGB and 15 millimeter thickness. And they're addressable RGB. They are not reversed blades, so we'll flip them upside down as intake. But they're nice and thin. That gives us the extra room for future expansion in the case. They impressively move a lot of air for how thin they are. Watching this on Empower PC right now. Nice. Nerds, thanks. Hey Mike, welcome back to the build show. I'll need a whole dedicated table for my 1000D. Maybe like a stone, because of how heavy it is. It's getting very heavy. I had to move it today to reposition it so I can get my hand somewhere, and I almost couldn't lift it on my own. Pretty big guy. I got all the screws that I needed, but I ordered specifically the right size screw for 15 millimeter thickness. We got the right screws now. Thank you for playing the Cantina song from Star Wars. YouTube doesn't like that when I play those things, but I don't really care. What's up, owner? Welcome back to the build show, sir. John, keynote. Don't make the same mistake as some of us did with the PC. Can't say exactly what, but it comes with viruses. Oh, yeah. Don't, you talk to that about your mother, with your mother. Or your dad. We're not here for that. No torrents. ISPs don't like torrents anymore. Steve Anderson, 87 for Saturday and 90 for Sunday. Gonna be hot. Yeah, it was hot a couple days for us here too in Michigan. We're pushing mid 80s. 55 by 24. It holds 4 monitors and a PC. Nice. It's a nice sized desk. I'm back here, Mr. Stubby. We need you. These screws, I think they came in a pack of like 16 or something like that, or but they're specifically for 15mm fans. I gotta figure out just the size and the screw and order them somewhere else, because they weren't that cheap for screws. I have a glass table with a Samsung Odyssey 2 that's pushing the weight limit. Yeah, you're not putting this PC on that glass desk right now. You won't have a glass desk anymore. That I can guarantee. Oh dear. Oh dear. All right, we got those installed. Gotta get them plugged in now. We have PWM and ARGB over here. We could do that. Get a hub. Come on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop the power supply in before we do the card. Just because it gets a little tight down there. Living, my friend. LOL. Onra, did you check out the Noctua recommendation that one of the top fans should be intake to improve the airflow, air cooler performance? It is revolutionary. I did not, but we can easily flip that around if you think it makes a difference. Heck, I might even just test it on this and see if it actually is true. But I mean, it does make sense because this is drawing air, starving air from the cooler. So if we look at it real quick, this fan is pulling air out, right? So if we flipped it around, it'll be pulling air in, or pushing air in, and then getting sucked through the cooler. So that would make sense. Even though everybody says hot air rises, but that would make sense. So it'd be very easy to flip that around. So I'll test it. Then you should make a video wall since you have multiple monitors. I don't have time to play with that. That's the problem. Sounds fun. Would be a cool video to make. But, you know, people like Linus Tech Tips shelled out 100 grand at a video like that. And gets it sponsored. And what's the point of me doing it? It's already been done. That's exactly what Noctua said. Yeah, I didn't hear that from Noctua. That's just my opinion. It makes sense. Have I ever done it before? No, I haven't. Because if I did it, I don't know why I wouldn't. I don't know. I haven't done it. Makes sense, though. The idea was planted, so it makes sense. Alright, 24-pin fed power supplies installed. We can look forward to powering this sucker up very soon, guys. Almost there. Don't know what I'm doing with this. Making a big mess here. There we go. Just untangling our EPS cable. We can get it ran up here to the top. Somebody pray for my fingers that are going to be cut up trying to get that unplugged in. Okay. And don't let me forget the SATA power for the RGB. I always forget it. And everybody's like, where's the RGB? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where the RGB is. Whoops. Okay, guys, here we go. EPS cable. Hand killer. We got it. I didn't destroy my hand. So that's a win. Oh, you're back. Where do I go to change the RGB color on my fans? It was a Gigabyte B650 Gaming X AX-V2. So it should be in the Gigabyte Control Center. The Gigabyte Control Center should have the RGB Fusion button that you can click, and then you can change the colors there. Watched it from the Arctic Cooling Reddit, where they uploaded the picture. I still share it in Discord. Nice. Yeah, I actually didn't know about that, so pretty cool theory. We'll have to test it. Thank you for the sub, Nasty Shake 3, over on YouTube. And Islam. Al-Mahad Islam. Over there on YouTube as well. Thank you for the sub. I did miss that earlier. 18 minutes ago. Jesse, thank you for the like. Carol over on Facebook. Jesse on Facebook, thank you for the likes. That cooler barely fit in there. This one? Yes. It's a tight fit. Two millimeters from the side panel, LOL. Pretty tight, yeah. Plus, it's a little elevated, the fans are, because of the Team Group T-Force Delta RGB RAM that's underneath it. So the fans are actually elevated a little higher than the top of the cooler. So it's going to be basically kissing the glass panel. Pretty close to it anyway. All right, so this does actually have a back plate. Surprises me. I remember the 6600 does not have a back plate on the Power Color Fighter card. So, really cool looking card. Very straightforward. Black. And it's a metal back plate as well, which is nice. No other documentation or anything in the packaging, just the card. Cheap and simple from AMD. What you like to see. No extra cost going to the card. Or going to the packaging. Nice job, Ben. Thank you, Luke. Ben, what's your hot take on people needing antivirus software? Usually I tell people to take a look at Webroot Secure Anywhere. They have a gaming PC version of their antivirus. And that's all you should need. If you need anything else, then the user might be the problem. Trying to bust these things out. Welcome back to the build show, though, Luke. Windows Defender is good enough. Yeah, Windows Defender is good enough is usually what I tell people, but if you need something a little bit more, then the Webroot Secure Anywhere is good. Hey, Pro, what's up, man? How late am I? Well, you're pretty late. All we've got left is to drop the card in and plug that in and do some cable management, and then we're going to fire it up. So we're a little late. But I started late. So you're not late. Wizards are never late. Remember? Nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to. We're just doing Alexander's build right now. Very nice AIM-4 Ryzen 7 5700X 3D system paired with an RX 7600 in this micro ATX case. Very nice starter system. Twisted. I'm going to untwist this PCIe cable. I don't know how I can untwist it. I don't like twisty cables on the front side of the case. We'll go through the trouble of untwisting them. Really adds to the aesthetics. The clean build theory. Hope that doesn't. Right. A little wacky. Okay, now we just have to clean this up. Then we can fire it up. Where do we start? What a waste of money to water cool an RX 580. Who said that? Who water cooled an RX 580? And no, it wasn't a waste of money back then, because those were some of the better cards. And actually, RX 580s you can overclock really, really nicely. Like the original RX 580s? You could get really good overclocks on them. Which water cooling it would help the overclock. So back then, get an RX 580 and you could run it like a I don't know, like a 1080. You overclocked it good enough? Well enough? Every time I change it in the Gigabyte control panel, it doesn't work. What does it do? Just nothing? I could do a remote session with you, John, after the stream, and we could figure it out. Okay. Getting down to the wire here. Quite literally. Do 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 do. Yeah, nerds, I will watch some YouTube videos on the program, then decide. What are we talking about there? I mean, it's an app to shut down more apps, so never used it as I run and install Slim. No bloat on Windows 11 on builds. There we go. It's about as clean as it's going to get. About as far as I'm going to go. What do you think about the fiber optic Ethernet case? I just got a 1 gigabyte panel for $65 instead of, and got rid of my $100 for Xfinity cables, so more Xfinity, LOL. I don't know. Let him get the panels on, Jesus. Razer Cortex to shut down running apps while gaming. I've never used Razer Cortex. I am familiar with it. I hit the calibrate button and now it works. Nice. So if there is a LED button on the case, John, it's also possible that the hardware controller was controlling the fans if you pushed the LED button. And if you did, all you have to do is hold down the LED button and it will sync it back to the software, if that happened. Yeah. One more zip pack. Maybe. If I find it. Hey Dart. Thank you for the follow over here on Twitch. They all just came up on my YouTube recommended. Oh, nice. Well, thank you for the follow. We are streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, X, Facebook. I think that's all of them. I don't know. I can't remember. I learned something. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I've just never used them. So. Usually I just go to the start menu and shut everything off, or the startup. Tend to forget that Kick exists. Hey, I know it's pretty crickets in the chat over there on Kick. In fact, I don't think we have a single chat message over on Kick. I don't know why I still stream to it. I just do. We're just getting ready to fire this up after we built it, so we'll see what it looks like. Fire it up, shall we? Nice, cute little build. Great entry level. Get her plugged in. Don't really need the Ethernet or the audio. Probably gonna leave it on the bench here. Stream anyway. Here. Open. Fucked. Oh well. Okay. Is Alex here? Alexander? Oh, nice. Sorry, that camera was not supposed to do that. See what happens when things get rebooted. Things act up. One more bounce. Sorry, guys. Nope. Very sensitive. Okay, that's good enough. And focus. Focus. Thank you. Okay. Yes, Comcast has really spotty, like they do updates and the worst time. Oh yeah, I know. I get them all the time. Well, the LED button works, the lights for a controller on a case, but if it's weird, wired to the motherboard and then holding down For 2 seconds, we'll use the software on the motherboard and bypass the switch. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about there. It looks amazing already. No RGB button holding down to reset. Maybe. I think that case had an LED button if it had the hub. All right, guys. Alexander, are you here? If you think about it, it's just Twitch, but green colored. Yeah, it's not purple, it's green. Ben, is it safe to browse the onion router on a belt? I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Ant-Man. All right, guys. I don't know if Alex is here or not, but I'm going to go ahead and fire this up in 3, 2, 1. And it was cheaper, so made the switch. Nice. Have to actually hit the button. Well, the LED button works. The light... Yeah. Yeah. I already read that one. Woo! Look at the pretty RGBs. And we might end up swapping that top fan around as intake instead of exhaust, per Onra's recommendation. No RGB GPU, sad. No, it's a power color fighter, so no RGB on that. So RGB and LED are not the same thing. Did I just learn something else? Yes, RGB and LED are not the same thing when it comes to headers on the board, on the motherboard. Is ARGB or rainbow, and then that's your 5-volt RGB, and then you have the RGB 12-volt, which is your 4-pin instead of the 3-pin 5-volt, and then you have LEDs for, you know, when you push the power button and this little light shows up, or you have hard drive LEDs. When there's activity on a hard drive, it'll blink a flashy light. Those are your LED. But I think some motherboards actually label them RGB LEDs. So sometimes it can get confusing because of motherboard manufacturers. Are the bottom fans Thermalright? They are indeed, Onra. They are indeed. Those are 15mm, 120mm fans. 15mm thickness. What if the drive light is always on? You might have it plugged in wrong if it's always on, or there's just that much activity on your drive. I don't know why we still have drive activity lights. It's such an old school use anymore. I don't think of it as a requirement anymore. Looks great, Ben. Thank you, Mike. John, I set the color to blue and it looks amazing. Thanks for the build. Oh, you're welcome, John. Onra, I posted a knock to a link in the Discord general chat. If you're still interested in checking it out, I will definitely check it out. I have a solid blue one, and then a red one that blinks. The red one that blinks is probably your drive activity light, HDD LED. The solid blue is probably your power indicator saying that it's on. Power to the system. It's probably your LED, power LED. Just like this blue light turns on when I powered on the system, this is just indicating that there is power to the system. That is all it does. And that it's on. And we did post. So we are in the BIOS right now, 5700X 3D with 16 gigs of RAM. And the storage is showing up, so looking good. So an RX 7600 is like an RTX 4060, I am guessing. Nah, it's pretty similar. It's close. Probably less performance on ray tracing, obviously. But I'd say it's pretty close. 4060 probably is a little bit over it. Nice. Yeah. It's probably within 20 or 30 FPS, somewhere in that range, which seems like a lot, but it's really not that much, because this will run pretty much any title you throw at it in 1080p, well over 100 FPS, you know, so. Plus, the X3D chip helps benefit the AMD graphics card a bit. Yeah, I would say about 10% more on the 4060. Yeah. 4060's probably got the edge overall, but so it's close enough to the point where if you need to save some money, the 7600 is going to do you a solid. Does the fan speed matter? Fan speed does matter, yeah. Being hearing leaks of a possible 9080, that'd be dope. I thought AMD was going to stay out of the higher end card range. Just stick with the mid-range and lower. Maybe the 9070 was such a good success that they're itching for more. The 9090 XTX. Oh my gosh, that'd be sick. Now, if you get a new 9060, you would be good. Yes, those came out just today, actually. I think it was, right? Today or yesterday or today? Let's talk. Yeah. Congratulations, Alexander, from Steve Anderson over on the YouTube channel. On the build. I have only played Roblox on the new PC, mainly, because all of my games have been installing, but it runs so smooth. Yeah, I know, I hear you. It's going to take a while to get all those downloaded. You can also get that other SSD that you have installed in there as well. And if you need to go back to the video, remember, I showed you how to do it in the video when we built it. $12 gig or the 8 gig? For which? I thought it was an 8 gig 9060 that I saw. No. 12 gigs is not the bare minimum. Maybe 12 gigs for 1440p. But 8 gigs is your bare minimum today. You could still 1080p game in 1080p on 6 gigs. 8 gigs is probably preferred for 1080p, and then once you start hitting like 1440p, then you want, you know, 12 gigs. But you can still do 1440p on 8 gigs. It depends on the card. For example, like a 3070 Ti. I still game 1440p on a 3070 Ti. And that's an 8 gig card. So it's 12 gigs is not necessary yet. It's just leaning in that direction. If you want to future-proof a little bit, then yeah, 12 gigs is probably the preferred. But that's like us saying, well, then you could just buy an RTX 3060 and you'll be fine. But the RTX 3060 will get outperformed by this card, the RX 7600. So, which is, you know, the 3060 has 12 gigs and this has 8 gigs. So again, it depends on the card. It's more than just the VRAM. The VRAM just helps when you start getting into higher screen resolutions with higher textures. Yes, it was today. Thank you for confirming that, chat nerds. I did see that come out. Airsoft Daddy, what case is that? This is the Oculus Aqua 3. You can find it on Amazon. It's about a $64 case, and it includes 3 fans, the rear and the 2 on the top, and an RGB hub on the back, which is nice. I'm gonna wait for the new PC before I hit up. Yep. And welcome to the build show, Airsoft Daddy. Never heard of that brand, but the case looks half decent. Yeah, it's a brand that I've been using for a while. I'd say almost a year now. It's been a solid brand. I've used these Aqua 3s quite a bit. They're very modern looking, and I like the design of them. and you can fit some pretty large components in there for the size of the case, so it's impressive. The Antec C8, that's a good case. I don't think I've actually built in it though, but it's one that I have been itching to build in. So C8's a pretty good case by Antec. Dude, get these ATX 24 pin 180 degree adapters. It's like $5 on AliExpress and makes builds look cleaner. I use these adapters for all of my builds. Yeah, I know they exist, but the way I look at it is one component on the connection between the power supply and the motherboard that could fail if they're cheap. I don't like using super cheap, you know, if I can avoid it. Hugh Wester, welcome back to the Build Show. What do you use to dust? So I have a duster. Let me see if I can. So I use this. It's a Sunshine. This thing blows, quite literally. But the Sunshine you could get on Amazon, it's like $40, $45. And then I use a couple different things like rags and paintbrushes to get in some weird places. Yes, paintbrushes without paint, obviously. Why no canned air? Sad. Canned air is expensive. It's almost, what, $6 or $8 a can? That's not very efficient when it comes to the cost. But I do have canned air here. Surf on. I think this was from Walmart. It has no expiration date on it, I don't think. So if anybody's interested in some canned air, I do have some here. I just use my vacuum. Yeah, vacuums are okay. It's just sometimes vacuums just don't have enough sucking power to get all of it. Especially when customers bring in, you know, PCs that they vape or smoke around a lot. Those are really sticky and gross. So you gotta really brush off the gunk. So that's why you use a combination of a few different disposable paintbrushes to get in there with just enough bristle to get in there and kind of break things up so I can blow it out. I don't use a vacuum around them. To your point, it creates static, but I don't think it creates enough static to do any damage. You just have to be careful with it. Not the cleanest for some sticky dust, but I'm cheap. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, the vacuum could work, it's just you have to be careful with it. Sometimes if I have to clean a PC inside while it's raining outside, I'll have my shop vac on and kind of put it in a box and then just bust a hole in the box and then blow it out and have the shop vac suck all the dust out. Works pretty well. But always remember to put your filter on your shop vac before you do that, or it just blows the dust everywhere. Learn from experience. I just thought about the movie Short Circuit when Johnny Five says your mama was a snowblower. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was an old one. That's a good one. Vacuum, LOL. Yeah, I try to refrain from the vacuum usage. Usually I blow, I don't suck. You know, I gotta be careful with my words. Battery powered have become strong now. But the one I like got super expensive because of the tier list video. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you could get some pretty good battery powered ones too. I'm not gonna go there. Airsoft. Try to keep it rated for the because we have kids in the chat. I am clipping this. Oh boy. Over on the Twitch side. Thank you for clipping it. You know. She gone. Yep, she gone. Airplane, great movie. That's a good movie. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, or whatever it's called. That was an excellent movie too. I don't know why it reminded me of that when you said plane, airplane. Hey, Ron over on the Facebook side. Sorry I missed your like over there 30 minutes ago. How good I am with the notifications. Terrible. But there we have it. We have Alexander's build done. And tomorrow we have another build. So we're going to be building again. We'll have another live stream, build show tomorrow around the same time. Going to try to start around 8 p.m. Eastern time, but you know me. Anything John Candy is funny? Yeah. Mike, just no Spaceballs. Yes, no Spaceballs. Great build. Thank you, Onra. Thank you, John. Hope you enjoy your build. I'm glad it showed up today. Gives you some time to play with it before the weekend, so you can get crazy with it over the weekend. But we are expecting to see your YouTube channel and your streams. So you got to share those in the Discord channel at some point, so we can check out your channel. We want to see your creativity. Any 9060 build soon? Probably, yeah. I've got quite a few. So because of jury duty, I didn't do a ton of my custom build requests. So I have to write a ton of quotes, and it's kind of cool because there's a ton of, $1,000 build requests in that area. So I think a 9060 XT would fit that very nicely, that price point. So live? What do you mean live? Question mark. I don't know if John has gone live yet. I think he's still waiting for games to get installed. He's waiting for downloads. No, that is being Ben thing. I don't have a face for YouTube. It's not about the face, Chad. It's about the personality. Does this look like a face for YouTube? This is not a face for YouTube. This is a I'm overworked and tired face. But don't have the money to prove it. John, yes, posted in Discord. Yeah, we want to see it. No, 6 monitors is not overkill. Nah, you look good. Thanks. I've also got gray hairs thanks to jury duty. They really stressed me out. All right, guys. With that being said, we'll leave it on the conversation of to blow or to suck. And we're talking about cleaning PCs, for the record. That is the next major debate. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you on the next one tomorrow night around 8 p.m. Eastern time. You know me, I'll probably be a little late, so don't expect me at exactly 8 o'clock. And then Alexander will have this PC probably ready for you before the weekend here, or on the weekend, if all things go well. So we'll see you guys on the next one tomorrow night. Take care, guys. Have a good night. Wrong song. GG's.